what is one thing that you wish you or someone could tell little you about this twisted road that is making music, that you wish you had known, and or that you wish you knew was going to happen? And
Don't do it. Just kidding.
don't do it, girl. Don't do it. This video is brought to you by Gamefly. We'll hear more about them later, but for now, let's get on to today's show. Welcome to Room 6, the channel dedicated to local and not so local music and the people that make it, including me and my guests. And my guest today is the front woman for a three-piece alt-rock band out of LA. It was started by two siblings and named for a lost friend. And they are actually another Attic Echo band. Attic Echo is a PR firm out of LA that brought them and other acts to my attention, and I really appreciate it. Shout out to Tiffany. They're also friends of Room 6 alumni Cannibal Kids. Their single Wolves is out right now, and I'm doing a review of it coming later this week, so make sure you subscribe. Please welcome to the channel, Sara from Animal Sun. Hi, Sara.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the channel. Thanks for the content. So, first off, at time of recording, it's the last day of June, so happy Pride and happy early birthday. I know it's real early birthday, but
that's very early. My birthday's in August.
Yes, it is. But by the time this comes out, it'll be close to August, so I figure, we'll cover our bases. So, I know we're under a little bit of a time constraint, so I just get right into it. I wanted to talk real quickly about earliest musical influence. And when I say that, I'm not saying what influenced you growing up and, all that. I'm saying, do you remember a moment where you said, I want to do that?
I remember that I wanted to be a musician when I saw the music video for "Move Along" by the All American Rejects. Tyson Ritter was my first crush when I was like 11. So I would say that was like the moment. Was like I want to do that, but like it wasn't like it was like where the initial like itch came from. It wasn't like what pushed me into doing this full time. That's a long story, but I would say that music video, I was on vacation, it was spring break, I was 11 years old in Arizona, of all places. And I saw that music video on MTV in our hotel room, and I was like instantly like, shit, like I want to do that. And that was where the initial like itch that I could never scratch came from.
Nice. And that's how, it seems to happen a lot to especially singers, people who are like, it starts germinating in your head. You start thinking about how can I do that? And you start finding various ways, or you start writing down lyrics or whatever. Now the last few years have been very transformative for both you and the band. I was wondering if there's how the response has been from the fan base.
Well, our first album did all right. Our second album did pretty good too. We did a bunch of like big tours, like Kelsey Carter, Ann Arbor, did 7 like tours like in a year and a half. We toured 7 times. 2 of those were national tours, so it was really hard on our like I guess like our whole camp in general. And then Adam left the band due to mental health reasons, and that was a huge hit for us as well. The thing is, like, the new music like has really like hit another level for us. It's like kind of taking what worked like on Generation Waiting, because it's not as popular amongst our fan base as the first record, Echoes of a Dream, and kind of shifting some of those things that weren't working on that record to like focusing on like what was working on the first record and then pairing that with what was working on the second. And this new sound that we've came up with has kind of saved our band. In a lot of ways. Like, it's unique, it's entirely our own. We're not like trying to copy other people. Like, we have influences, sure, but like I don't think the fans care about Adam leaving the band, honestly. And I don't think that they mind that we didn't tour this spring. We hope to tour this fall. We have something in the works which I can't talk about. After July 19th, we have that red carpet event, which we'll talk later about. But like, the fans have been fine about Adam leaving the band.
Right on. Now, I also know that apparently, I think you're a fan of Solvang. Is that right?
Yeah, the little tiny Danish town.
Yep, I've been there myself. I'm originally SoCal, but I moved here from NorCal. I was wondering if you had a favorite food, whether it was Able Skeevers or gelato.
Gelato.
Really?
Duh.
I'm all about the Able Skeevers
Yeah.
myself, but yeah,
Yeah.
right on. Yeah, just a little weird question, but I saw you posted something from Solvang, and I was like, I got to ask
That
about
was a
that.
long time ago, sir. You must have gone back a year for that one.
Dig deep, dig deep.
Wait, how did you do? Because I deleted all those old pictures and stuff. So you must have
Uh,
looked a while ago.
yeah, it was a while ago, but I want to say Facebook. It might have been Instagram.
Yeah.
It's part of my
There's no
job.
pictures on our Facebook or Instagram. So you must have looked like back in like February or something. Because when we hit the new album cycle, I was like, I want to wipe everything because like I just wanted a fresh start
Hmm.
for the band. I was like, Adam's gone out of the band. Like we have a new sound. Like everything is very fresh. So like let's focus on like making this the version of the band we always dreamed of it being. And it was like the moment we did that, it was like boom, arena gig, award nomination, playing the red carpet, and then a potential really big tour in the fall if we nail this gig. So it's like almost like being authentic is so important to things happening for you.
Definitely. And having reviewed Wolves, there's this polish to everything that definitely says a lot of time and effort was spent figuring out what your sound is on this particular song. But I've heard some of your other music, and it does seem like it kind of flows, and it's Animal Sun. It isn't you don't pigeonhole yourself and say
No,
this album's going to be just like this last album,
no,
which is a trap that
never.
a lot of younger bands will fall into that trap of, well, we don't want to
I was
lose.
having a I was having a conversation with my boyfriend the other day, and he was basically we're basically saying that the shelf life, not shelf life, but the life of a pop punk band is like 3 to 5 years because they can only play like you know what I mean, like one style of music, and they can only write songs for teenagers. But you find bands in that genre like Fall Out Boy or All Time Low or stuff, people that have like broken out of that box and like done other things and then still have their pop punk roots. And that's a really challenging thing to overcome. And we almost fell into that category, but with synth pop, which has a very similar shelf lifespan. Like if you're going to be like the 1975, that's going to work for 5 years, right?
Right.
If you even break, if you even make it. So we were like, fuck that. We're just going to like take all the things that we love about the music we listen to and create our own unique sound. And that's what we did with Echoes of a Dream. And we decided that we didn't want to keep recycling that. Like, let's keep, you know what I mean? Like, Can You Hear the Thunder does not sound like the 1975, but More Than a Friend does. You know what I mean? It's like, so like we try to like on that record in particular, or I guess Generation Waiting too, we always try to combine our influences in a way that becomes entirely original. And by the end of it, you're like, oh, that sounds kind of familiar, but I don't know where you got that from because that's kind of the state we're at in music right now. Like everything has been done and it was done a long time ago by greats. You know what I mean? It was done a long time ago. So it's like you nowadays it's just like how can you make it feel fresh even if it isn't? And
Yeah. All
I do
music is
feel like though
thievery. So
this record in particular, Life Among Machines Part One and Part Two is better in my opinion. Um, in particular, these like Part One, Part Two, same album, right? Side A, Side B, is the closest I think we've ever come to having a sound that sounds like nothing else. I sent it to my music publisher, Mark from Secret Friends, Mark Woodbridge, and he was like, I don't know what band you guys sound like anymore. You guys are entirely original. And I'm like, hell yeah.
right on.
When you listen
Cool.
to the record in order, it makes sense.
Right on. And this is a good tip for like you new musicians out there that don't be afraid to not sound like anybody else, or at least anybody else in recent history, because like we established, all music is thievery. It's all been done before. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing, it's only so many notes in the scale. You can only
Yeah.
create so many sounds. But the thing I like about your music, in general, is something I love about all good music, and music that when I was a frontman for a band, I tried to incorporate this, is that those dynamic moments of just suspense. Like I called the band the suspense for that. Like suddenly there's a break in the music right before you're about to step on the distortion pedal, or right before the wave's
Yeah.
going to crash over the
Oh,
auditometer.
you're talking about that moment in Wolves, aren't you? Where we did
Uh,
that full stop before the
yeah,
heavy
I
breakdown. Yeah.
love a good full stop, but I also just love even when it's like the verse is one speed and the chorus maybe gets a little slowed down, or probably the other way around. But you know, when there's a song that you can tell that they were like, okay, how can we keep people interested, and how can we keep ourselves interested and make this fun to play every time?
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like you guys did a really good job of that, at least on Wolves, because that's the only song I've reviewed so far. But anyway, moving on. In the interest of time, which I hate to use that phrase, but you
Time.
got to be somewhere. Yes.
Time is an construct.
Yes, exactly.
It's a construct.
Wibbly
We
wobbly,
made it.
timey wimey. So, speaking of all the cool shows you've done and accolades
Hmm.
and things, what is your favorite show memory from Animal Sun? And
The
by favorite,
Roxy. The
okay,
Roxy Ann Arbor.
right on. What made it
That
your favorite?
was the biggest show I ever played in LA. It was almost sold out. It was packed. We made a lot of money in merch. We made a lot of new fans. I love those guys from the Hire in Ann Arbor. Um, both greats from when I was in high school. Um, Taking out a baby band on the road is a pretty big deal. So it felt great. I mean, we're much more established now, but that was like the first time we were actually getting like making money on tour instead of losing it. Well, we always like neck and neck. Like our first tour we did with Cannibal Kids. Yeah, we know them pretty well. God, I have so many crazy memories with those people. If I could remember anything. Anyways, so that's for a different reason. Anyways, but like I would say it's either that or New York with Kelsey Carter, because that one was sold out, and I was like crowd surfing while playing the guitar and shit. Like it was wild.
Oh,
Like
that's
I
checking
just
off. Yeah,
yeah,
you're just checking
that's
off the
pretty great.
list.
But like honestly, the merch selling, I forget what we played. I forget where we played. Something ballroom. It's somewhere everybody plays, but they're really strict on those artists. Like the venue is awful. Like if you're playing there as a musician, it's terrible. Selling merch there is awful. The green room is awful. The staff there aren't the best, but
Wow.
the crowd was fucking insane. And I was over here like crowd surfing, playing guitar at the end of Can You Hear the Thunder across the fucking room. There's a video of it that I archived when we redid the album. When we went to the new album cycle, and I was like, all
Nice.
right. But I kept all of like the stuff like in the highlights, so you can always go to like Echoes of a Dream, and then go through the whole journey, and then you can go to Generation Waiting, and then go through the whole journey. It's pretty cool to see.
Right on. We got a couple more questions, and we might be seeing something from the band after this interview, so stick around for that. But first, we're going to get a quick message from future Josh.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Thanks, Josh from the past. If you're like me, your free time comes at a high price. Once you factor in work, family, friends, and unexpected plans, it can be hard to find some me time for yourself. That's where video games come in. But what to play? Well, just like me, you might have commitment issues when it comes to buying video games. Good news! Gamefly is here to beat your personal time boss levels. Gamefly is the leading online video game rental service in the United States. They deliver the widest selection and availability of games for all the major consoles. Some of the benefits of membership include value. Memberships start for as low as $9.50. Selection. Gamefly has the largest selection of video games anywhere with thousands of titles, including all the new releases and classics. Convenience. Gamefly delivers games to your door. Shipping is free both ways, and there are no late fees. Savings. Gamefly members get free shipping on products such as controllers, accessories, and collectibles. Just for watching this video and for being part of Room 6, and for a limited time only, you can use my affiliate link down in the description to save even more money by checking out their pre-played game sale. You'll get the convenience of services like Netflix designed for busy gamers like you and me. Plus, you'll be helping out the channel. Thanks to Gamefly for being a sponsor, and let's get back to today's video. We're back. And for those of you just joining us, why didn't you start at the beginning? But if if that is sponsor spot interested you at all and you want to help out the channel, please consider clicking the link down in the description to check it out. I don't know what it is at this point. First, a couple more questions for Sara. And Number one, I hate this question. We all hate this question, but I have to ask it. How would you define your band's musical style? Elevator pitch. Go.
80s like synth pop combined with like modern alternative rock with a little bit of like 90s acoustic singer-songwriter stuff we all love. I would say that's it.
Right on. That pretty much covers it based on what I heard on Wolves. And I mean, not to go down that rabbit hole, but the thing that grabbed me with Wolves right away was I was like, oh, it gives classic rock vibes all of a sudden, like right from the get-go. And then suddenly other things came in. And it's been so long since I heard a band pull out, like right off the bat, here's a guitar riff, boom, deal with it. And it was nice. So
right? How many times do you hear something start with a kick drum and a bass?
or the synth, or but it was like lately it seems like everybody's having me review stuff where piano starts. Or piano. And it's just, it was so nice. I was like, yes, this is a guitar with distortion. Yay. And so there you go. Guitar. Anyway, so last question. You made it. Yay.
Woohoo.
We're going to circle back to that first question about, your earliest musical influence. Let's pretend we're talking to little you. That's like, All American Rejects. Ooh.
Ooh.
What this? Yes. What? Do you have a message for him? No, just kidding.
Yeah, I do. Fucking let me open up for you.
Right.
I will do a very good job. I promise. I want to impress you because you're the whole reason I even started this. Well, there's the whole James son and that whole thing, but that's like dark and depressing. We don't want to talk about that. We talk about the good things here.
Right. Okay. So, what we're really doing is talking to new musicians here. Okay. But really, what is one thing that you wish you or someone could tell little you about this twisted road that is making music, that you wish you had known, and or that you wish you knew was going to happen? And
don't do it. Just kidding.
Don't do it, girl. Don't do it.
Don't do it. It was awful. Run for your fucking life. I would say like it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about them. And that's what I would say. And when you get that and you truly get that and you truly understand it, that's when the career happens. It's not about you. It's about them.
And I couldn't agree more. That's the most succinct answer to that I've gotten, I think, in 4.5 years of doing this. I
am a professional.
Yes. Well, I started this channel about the local, like, musicians are terrible at promoting themselves on the local level, especially. So I was, but nobody's doing this on YouTube still. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this thing. I know people from playing in the scene. I'll invite them over. We'll have some fun. And it became it's become a thing now where I'm getting reached out to by PR firms in LA or Florida, and that's so cool.
Awesome. Good for you.
Thank you. And yet I'm not rich, but anyway, but
honestly, very little people are, except they live in LA and they're pieces of shit.
Yes. But but at least once a week, I deal with imposter syndrome, and immediately I have to follow up with stepping back and reassessing, like, wait, why are you doing this? You're doing this for them. You're doing this for all the people who have no clue how to promote themselves, and yet they're super talented, musicians. All they know is, here's the flyer that somebody made. I'm playing here. Go see it. And I'm giving them an opportunity to say, here's who I am off stage, but also here's what I do, whether they perform here in person or we do a music video. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. And definitely, I've got the social media links for Animal Sun down in the description. Definitely check them out. If you can see them in live, I've seen the videos of some of the shows, and it looks amazing. Sara, once again, thank you very much. Remember to be amazing. And we'll see you next time on Room 6. And I guess we'll say goodbye. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Losing my faith in a quiet room, the sun through the cracks of my memory. a bit like mine. So tired of putting on these faces. You know they don't wanna see those scars. We do this dance till the end of time. All of this lost just to make a name. But everywhere I go, the streets all look the same. Walking targets through the scope of machines. We've been living like we're strangers, while the devil's waiting in the dark. And his voice sounds a bit like mine. So tired of putting on these faces. You know they don't wanna see those scars. We do this dance till the end of time. Another missing puzzle piece, stumbled by my enemies. I've been buried under the ground, shaking till my bones break, counting every mistake. I've been letting everyone down, 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 down. I've been letting everyone down. Breaking with shadows in the back of my mind, craving the flesh of those that are too kind. My mouth keeps on talking and talking, while my feet keep on walking and walking. There's no end in sight. We've been living like we're strangers, while the devil's waiting in the dark. And his voice sounds a bit like mine. So tired of putting on these faces. You know they don't wanna see those scars. We do this dance till the end of time. We do this dance till the end of time. We do this dance till the end of time.
I want to thank Sarah from Animal Sun for coming on the channel. It was a great interview and a great music video. Definitely click the links down in the description so you can find out what they're up to. Hopefully you can go see them live. And also, hey, how about maybe pick up some merch and some, music from them. In the meantime, if you want to see more videos like this, please click up here. If you'd like to subscribe, you know what to do. Click over there. Don't forget to ring the bell. And if you'd like to hear my own music, click over there. Remember to be amazing. We'll see you next time on Room 6.